A long time ago, in a galaxy far, far away. Extraordinary League, Episode 47. The League Strikes Back. The war between Phyrexia and the forces of the Extraordinary League is quickly drawing to a conclusion. With the dreaded Doomstar nearly complete, the League have been forced to act if they have any hope of preventing Doom's domination over the multiverse. While Mordin Solus recently claimed the fifth and final ring needed to defeat Phyrexia, and managed to depower and capture the Red Praetor Azula for good measure, not all is well. Dante has been lost to Phyrexia, and with him, one of the 5 rings. Nico Minoru, long thought by the League to be dead, has been secretly working undercover in Doom's shadow, attempting to find another way to end this conflict. Fearing her time was growing short, and with the unexpected help of the Blue Praetor Lex Luthor, she sent out a coded message to her allies in the League, revealing a secret vulnerability in the Doomstar. The yellow crawl disappears into the darkness of space just before a ship flies across the screen. We follow the ship until it comes upon a large fleet, a mismatched collection of vehicles from all corners of the galaxy. Small fighters, retrofitted merchant freighters, lumbering capital ships, and hundreds more sit in the middle of deep space, with more arriving every minute. This is the floating headquarters of the Extraordinary League, with the largest ship serving as a place for several members of the League who have been working separately for some time now to finally reunite with each other. Playing Stitch is Kit Mulkerin.
Huh? What is this ring on my finger? Here, Lace, you can have it. Lace then takes the water ring and becomes the most powerful water user in all of the histories of all the universes and defeats Phyrexia at the end.
Oh, we can all go home.
Yeah,
that's great.
Well, I mean,
short recording, guys.
Not
Nicely
the ending
done.
I was expecting, but there you go. Playing Sterling Archer is Miles Schneiderman.
All right, look, I don't have one. I'm gonna be honest, because stuff happened today. But I am just gonna go ahead and say Rampage because A, it's an Archer quote, and B, it would also be a pretty wicked Nico spell. So that
perfect. Playing Luna Lovegood is Megan Bob.
I sense a disturbance in the Force. I think it's quieter than usual. Oh gosh, I hope Dante's okay.
Playing Mordin Solus is Claire Mulkerin.
Last time I used you magic ring, I tried to say Sir Cash, and you just sat there playing dumb for a hoop that's awful fresh. We're here to save the multiverse, got no time for your games. Expand your mind, it's all just dirt, just called by other names. So help me out, you stupid magic bling. Oh, I just can't even with this ring.
And I'm Dan Mulkerin, your game master. Mordin has just returned from his mission in the world of Tamriel, bringing with him a round yellow gem, a new recruit for the League, and a prisoner in the form of a de-Phyrexianized Azula. Mordin, Archer, Stitch, and Luna, all 4 of you are on board the League's flagship. A meeting has been called for every member of the League, but right now, you 4 have met in the hall outside the meeting room for the first time in months.
When did we get a capital ship?
The rest of the League has been busy while all of you have been, out doing your missions. The League has actually made contact with a number of rebellious elements in this universe who are not especially happy with the Empire being around.
Dan, are you implying that we're not the most important people in the universe? Because
that's really rude, dude.
I guess we'll find out, won't we? But let's take this one thing at a time. So what does this reunion look like?
If I had known there was going to be a reunion, I would have written fanfic, and I haven't thought about it.
So Luna presents everyone with the reams of fanfic she's been writing since they've been separated.
So this fanfic is good, but where's Dante?
Oh yeah, because none of us was with him. So Archer just goes around greeting everybody, generally, mispronouncing their names in some fashion. Also greets Dante, but he's talking to like a potted plant in the corner. And just assumes that Dante is there.
Who was with Dante when he went on his mission?
Dante, who was with you? Dante. Dante.
We do seem to be missing someone, unfortunately. I suppose we have to hope that he was able to accomplish his mission in time.
So just to remind everyone, so Mordin is currently wearing the Earth Ring. Stitch is wearing the water ring, and Archer is wearing the wind ring.
Just to remind everyone, Archer is also wearing a Judge Dredd uniform.
Yes, and this is actually an interesting question because, the League has been operating in this universe for a number of months, and so a lot of members of the League have adopted weapons, armor, or clothing elements from this universe. So if any of you are sporting some visual accessories from this universe, feel free to narrate that as you will.
What does Ahsoka Tano wear that's a thing?
Ahsoka Tano? She kind of wears like athletic-looking Jedi robes. I think she wears like a sleeveless robe or something.
Sure, I'm wearing a sleeveless robe.
I suppose Archer could have modified the Judge Dredd armor to look a little bit more like Stormtrooper armor. No, like, it looks like the Stormtrooper analogs in Spaceballs.
Oh, nice.
With the armor pads on the butt cheeks.
Sure.
Yeah.
Nice. Do I have a lightsaber now?
You do have a lightsaber, Luna.
Okay, then I'm wearing it.
All right.
On a fanny pack.
Oh, fuck yes.
Luna, you found a flashlight? That could be useful.
It is.
That's awesome.
You know
That's
what?
awesome.
It does work pretty well as a flashlight.
Stitch pads up to Mordin, ears back, and says, What do you mean? What happened to Dante?
We're not sure, honestly. We haven't heard back from him.
We have to find him because he's Ohana.
Oh, yeah. Wait, I know this one. Nobody gets left behind or forgotten, right?
Yes! Stitch points at Archer.
Read a book, Mordin.
Stitch will make that a priority as soon as we can, but I think we should figure out what the rest of the League wants us to be doing right now. But I assure you, we will not leave Dante behind. We will get him.
I don't think even if we wanted to leave Dante behind, which we don't, I don't think he would ever let us leave him behind. I mean, if there was pizza and a party, he would, but that's the only reason.
Stitch is gonna walk toward the closest thing that functions as a kitchen in this ship. Gonna go try and make a pizza to lure Dante back.
All right, so Stitch, you set up a pizza in the oven here, and while that's cooking, I guess you guys are all heading into this meeting?
As for doing so, Mordin's going to pull out the last gemstone and hand it over to Luna. Got you something. Know you like sparkly things.
That's definitely one of my defining characteristics. Yeah, thank you for getting me something from... Where were you?
I don't know.
That's a very honest answer. And then Luna just opens up the little gem.
Mordin has to help you because the seams of the gem can only be seen by a planeswalker. But once it is open, you produce a golden ring with a yellow jewel on it, and the jewel has a red heart in the center of it.
It has a heart on it! That's really lovely.
So you all enter into the meeting room. It's round with a few rows of benches descending down to a lower area with a circular, waist-high hologram projector. Every current member of the Extraordinary League is here, with expressions displaying a mix of excitement and dread. In the center of the room, by the hologram projector, stand Doc Brown and Buffy, the latter of whom now sports a lightsaber hanging from her belt. They watch as everyone gets seated before Buffy activates the projector. A glowing image of a nightmarish construct appears, a collection of moon-sized space stations forged together into one gigantic battle station. Welcome, everyone. This whole thing is gonna be kinda good news, bad news. We're just gonna have to work with what we have news. Okay, first order of business. The Doomstar is complete. Our best intel says that they're finishing up the final test runs on their key systems. We've confirmed that a giant portal leading directly into Phyrexia has appeared near the Doomstar, so once those final tests are done, we're pretty sure that they're going to be taking the Doomstar through the portal, then turning around and using it to destroy this universe. I know we'd been kind of holding out hope that this whole gem ring thing was going to solve our problems for us, but, well, some of you know this, but Dante, who had one of the rings on him, was lost on his mission to Mustafar. His mission succeeded, as far as we can tell, but he and his team didn't make it off the planet. We're not sure what happened to them or the ring, and frankly, we don't have time to do any investigation. This universe's days are numbered if we don't act now. Thankfully, it's not all bad news. We received a coded transmission from Imperial Space. It looks like someone in the fleet isn't completely on Doom's side. She nods at Doc Brown, who steps forward and presses a series of buttons on the hologram projector, which now displays a second object next to the Doomstar, a space station featuring 3 giant vertical fins extending from a central spherical body. The station is a tiny fraction of the size of the Doomstar next to it, but based on the overall scale of the image, it's still quite a large structure. And Doc Brown begins. This is the Starforge, the shipyard used to construct the Doomstar. According to the information we received, Doom wanted a failsafe in case the Doomstar was compromised before it was completed, and had a self-destruct system built in, the only trigger for which exists in the Starforge. If we can get a team to this trigger, we can destroy the Doomstar once and for all. There's some surprised murmuring from the assembled Leaguers. Zero stands up and says, Sorry, but this transmission came from Imperial space? How do we know this isn't some sort of trap? Doc Brown glances down at a datapad in his hand. The plans we received seemed genuine. They also came with a rather cryptic message at the bottom. See, Mordin, this is just another reason why magic is better than science. Buffy takes back over. Both the Doomstar and the Starforge are protected by a massive fleet of both Imperial and Phyrexian warships. Luckily, we've been able to find enough people in this universe who want to see the Empire taken down that we have a respectable fleet of our own. Our current plan is to have our allies stage an attack on the Doomstar itself. The whole time, they'll be working to draw as many enemy ships away from the Starforge as possible. Once the Forge's defenses are directed elsewhere, we'll have one of our own ships sneak aboard with a team whose mission is to get to the Doomstar's self-destruct trigger and blow the thing up. Now, that plan isn't perfect. For one thing, the Starforge's defenses are enough to pick apart just about any ship that tries to get on board, and we don't want to send in a ship that's going to be noticed by Imperial ships. We have a light freighter that we think can do the job. It's designed for stealth, smuggling, and hiding, but it's quite small. This means that the team we send in is going to be no more than 4 or 5 people. And there's a slight shift of energy in the room, and you all become very aware that everyone is either looking at you or trying very hard not to look at you. Doc Brown continues. The Starforge has a very impressive complement of enemy soldiers, battle droids, and Phyrexians. Fighting your way through there is not going to be easy. Thankfully, we believe we have a solution. I've done some calculations, and based on multiversal geometric patterns, I'm 98.653% certain that one room of the Starforge itself sits on an extraction point. We can't warp there now as we don't know its precise coordinates, but I have something that just might do the trick. He produces a metal device about the size of a paperback book. It looks like it was cobbled together from several different pieces of technology, some from this universe, and some from the weird version of the 1980s that Doc Brown himself is from. I call it the Beacon. If activated on an extraction point, it will send out a signal to a different extraction point elsewhere in the multiverse. This signal will provide the dimensional coordinates of the extraction point it originated from. While our team in this universe make their way to the Doomstar, the rest of the League, all of us, will travel to a nearby plane and wait at an extraction point there. The team infiltrating the Starforge will make their way to the extraction point on board, then activate the beacon. The rest of us will receive the signal and use our DDCs to warp onto the Starforge. The Starforge may be heavily guarded, but it can't stand up to the combined might of the entire Extraordinary League. We fight our way to the console with the self-destruct trigger, and we reduce the Doomstar to atoms. Are there any questions?
Stitch walks in with a large pizza. And storm over, slams the pizza down onto the table and says, I made a pizza! Where's Dante? 2 pieces of pizza fly at Mordin and Buffy individually.
Buffy kneels down in front of Stitch and says, Stitch, we think Dante may be gone.
Then we get him back.
No, we think that he's dead.
He kind of cocks his head, like he doesn't fully get what that word means? Like in a video game?
Like he's not coming back.
Luna just goes over and, sits down next to Stitch and puts an arm around him. I'm really sorry for all of us.
Mordin's going to go down and kneel by Stitch as well and says, Look, Ohana means family. That means that nobody gets left behind, but sometimes someone's just gone, so we can't go get them back, but you remember what the second part of that is, right? What else it means?
Or forgotten.
Or forgotten.
Stitch peels the pizza off of Mordin's chest. Stitch takes a bite of pizza and says, We gotta stop Phyrexia so they don't take any more cousins.
Agreed.
You guys have a little bit of time before this battle commences. Is there anything else you would like to do before heading out into battle. You can have scenes with NPCs if you want. This might be your last real chance to talk to them before this final confrontation at the Doomstar, or you can just, be preparing for your final battle if that's what you want to do.
I mean, Archer's definitely gonna go find Roland.
Roland is here in the meeting room, because the rest of the League is here, but if you want to, have a scene with him elsewhere, you can.
No, it's fine. I'll go up to him after the meeting breaks up.
Roland sees you as you approach, nods and says, "Gunslinger."
Roland, what's up, buddy?
Well, still standing. Hoping to be doing the same by week's end, but you never know.
Yeah, it really seems like, this whole Dante thing really has you thinking, He was, one of the important people. It's weird. Roland, I assumed he was here. I saw a plant, and I was like, oh, hey, it's Dante, because, he's one of the important people.
Still think there are important people in this universe, do you?
I mean, I don't know. Most of the time, yeah. I'm pretty sure I'm one of them. But I also think you're one of them, Roland. You are one of the important people.
Well, thank you, Sai. Not entirely convinced myself.
Oh, whatever. Look, none of that shit matters, alright? Look, the point is that nobody knows who's coming back tomorrow. And Roland, I want you to get drunk with me.
Well, that entirely depends, I suppose, on whether or not we're both important, doesn't it?
I mean, important enough to get drunk, which is pretty important. I think that's one of my major qualifiers, Roland.
Well, if being drunk is indeed a connection to importance, you may just be the most important person I've ever known, Archer.
Oh, this is the start of a shipping fanfic for sure.
Roland, that is so sweet of you. Oh, I am. Thank you. I really, really am. Roland, let's go get smashed. Come on. We never got the chance. Back in Mega City 1. I don't know what they were drinking there anyway. It was weird. It smelled like milk. I don't know. They said it had protein. Anyway, I don't actually know anything about Judge Dredd, so if that's inaccurate, then fuck off. I just went down a hole there.
And then they wake up in the same bed the next day.
Anyway, Roland, let's go get drunk. Come on, let's do it.
Well, no, we need to survive this battle first. Then it will be a reward for us very important people.
Well, no, we have to have at least one. Hey, somebody who's got a bottle of whiskey? Somebody must have one. Buffy, I know you've got one over there. Don't even try to hide.
She looks like she's about to protest and then just sighs and reaches into one of her pouches and pulls out a little hip flask,
Wow.
takes a drag from it and then passes it over to you. And she says, "This doesn't leave this room."
Once a delinquent high schooler, always a delinquent high schooler.
I was gonna say, war changes you, man.
Archer produces 2 glasses from God knows where. They have little, stormtrooper pads on the bottoms of them that are round, and so they're impossible to actually set down. They're completely impractical, but,
of course.
Star Wars. So, pours glass for Roland, pours one for himself, and I aim with my heart, Roland. Let's go do that.
Aww.
Alright, wait, is it I aim with my heart? No, it's I...
Roland shrugs and says, "It's a stupid motto anyway," and then he takes a shot.
Oh,
That's
wow.
fair.
I drank with my mouth.
That's right.
Stitch makes a pizza in effigy of Dante. He makes Dante out of pepperonis and, other pizza toppings, so mostly pepperonis. And he looks at Lace and says, "It's what he would have wanted." And Lace nods and puts a piece of ham in front of a framed, really good headshot of Godzilla. And that's how they cope. That's how they heal.
That's very touching.
Yeah, I think Mordin's gonna play a prank on Sombra.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, set the scene for us.
Maybe we'll say that she's in the armory of the ship or whatever, checking all her gear and stuff. And then I'm going to say that one of her guns just gets pulled out of her holster and kind of lifts up into the air. And it's floating in front of her. And there's a voice that just goes ooh.
Oh my God. Yeah, she's just going to be "Oh no, a ghost. What can I do with all of my science?"
Mordin's just going to toss it at Sombra's face, hoping that she will catch it. When she does so, he then reveals himself, just reappears in front of her, and says to her, "Was attempting to study your technology a bit more in order to figure out how to remove this virus from my system, and though I wasn't able to do that, I was able to figure out how that tactical cloak of yours worked. Looks like I was able to replicate it. Only works for short bursts of time, but should come in handy."
Impressive. So you're not doing the magic thing?
To borrow a phrase, por qué no los dos?
That's probably for the best. There's already enough magic bitches around. We need more science bitches,
Aww.
Yeah, STEMinist fist bump. Boom.
You all step into the hangar bay of the League's capital ship. This place is a hive of frantic activity with pilots, mechanics, and droids moving in all directions as they prepare to launch the assault. You all find the ship that you're going to be using for this. It's a small freighter, long and narrow, mostly bronze in color, except for the large gray engines on the sides. An orb-shaped droid comes floating out from the ship's lowered ramp, and you realize that it's Cambot.
Cambot!
He floats over to you and says, well, the stealth systems are in top working conditions, as are your weapons. Also, I've inspected the roll, pitch, and yaw myself. All three are just top-notch. You should be good to go. So who's going to be flying this thing? Anyone here have experience flying spacecraft while avoiding being shot out by about 1 million enemies at once?
Yeah. Stitch says with, like, no enthusiasm.
Oh, well, I guess you can be the pilot for this thing.
Dante would have wanted to be the pilot.
I guess this is goodbye for now. I'll be participating when you bring all of us through the extraction point, so I'll see you soon, I guess.
Cambot, thank you. Just for being you.
Oh, well, I have a lot of very good footage of all of us stored away on my hard drive. I'd like to, watch it with everyone when all this is over.
Yeah, we can make a movie.
Yeah, I think so. I'd really like that. Anyway, good luck, I guess. Godspeed, break a leg, yeah.
I think movies are kind of passe, honestly. If we have the audio, I think it'd be more successful just try to release it as a podcast or something, honestly.
That's a good point.
Did we just reveal something deeply meta about this entire thing? So there are 4 positions to take on this ship. So Stitch is going to be the pilot. You guys will also need a co-pilot and 2 gunners. One for the medium cannon and one for the quad laser cannon.
I kind of feel like Luna should be the co-pilot, because I don't think she's going to be good at shooting things.
Archer will be a gunner.
Yeah, I can be a gunner too.
You guys all settle in on your ship into your respective positions. Not long after you get settled in, the ship lifts off and flies out through the invisible air shield at the far end of the hangar bay, flying out into space along with the vast swarm of allied rebel ships. You all receive a signal from the flagship, and the other ships begin to rocket away at impossible speeds. Stitch reaches up and pulls down a lever on the control panel. The stars around you suddenly stretch into bright lines, and you all rocket forward. Playing Nico Minoru is Miles Schneiderman. Nico, you are in your chambers on the Starforge, surrounded by spellbooks and magical artifacts. When the red alert klaxon begins to sound, you look out your window at the same vista of space you've seen for weeks now, the massive Doomstar, a portal to Phyrexia tens of thousands of miles wide, and a sky full of warships, all drifting slowly through the dark and starry sky. However, now that slow drift is brutally interrupted as countless ships begin to blink into view, dropping out of hyperspace and immediately opening fire with a storm of red laser bolts. The Imperial and Phyrexian ships are quick to respond, forming up in battle formations as fighters begin to launch from the Starforge, the Doomstar, and the many capital ships. The battle that you've been anticipating for so long has been joined. What do you do?
All right. Well, better late than never. The statue's still in the room with me?
The statue is in the hallway a short distance down from your room.
I am going to make like I'm really busy, and just if anyone notices me, just have a look on my face like, I'm doing shit, man. Like I'm important.
Are you like holding a clipboard as you go?
I mean, no, but like, it's the magical equivalent of a clipboard.
Oh man, I wish like if you still had your staff of one, you could totally say clipboard and then just like everyone thinks you're important,
She's still got the witch arm. So I'm going to say she's got like, a Star Wars hologram, but she's making it via magic with a witch arm and like staring at it as she walks.
I like it. All right, cool. The shadowy metal hallways of the Starforge outside your room are only slightly less chaotic than the battle outside as stormtroopers, Phyrexians, and stormtroopers that have begun to be Phyrexianized are running to battle stations or to their ships in the various hangar bays. You head down to this statue in a very less traveled hallway and find that aside from you and this gorgeous stone sculpture, you are alone.
You go just like, looks around to make sure. I am going to unpetrify Dante.
You point your hand. One of the spells that you have learned allows you to negate magical effects. You direct that spell upon Dante. The stone shatters, revealing flesh and a red coat beneath. Playing Dante is Liz Logan.
I clap my hand over his mouth and like slam him back into the wall. Shut up. I'm free. Okay. better. Remove my hand from his mouth.
Dude, I led the most successful mission ever.
Oh, God.
Cool, are you ready to lead another one? Because there's shit going down right now.
Put me in, coach.
All right, cool. Just, you know what? I'm not even going to bother explaining things to you. Just follow me.
Jump right in. Let me take my jacket off first.
It's like we're home.
Oh god, I miss this big stupid fuck.
Back over to the main group of leaguers. You have been monitoring the Battle of the Doomstar from afar, waiting for that moment when the Imperial forces have directed their focus just far enough away from the Starforge that you can slip in relatively unnoticed. The wait seems interminably long, watching the distant flashes of green and red lasers and orange explosions, silently willing the Empire to move its focus just a bit. Then, just when you feel like the wait has grown unbearable, you see it. One flank of the Starforge is unprotected. It's not a large area, and it requires you flying uncomfortably close to the long tendril of stellar fire that the Starforge is drawing up into itself from the sun. But this may be the only chance that you get.
Honestly, guys, I'm going to tell you, I have a pretty good feeling about this.
Archer, we shouldn't be cocky about this. We should take this very seriously.
Yeah, Luna, you're right.
Stitch lets out a little sigh and just goes in. There's no passion in his flying. He's just doing his job.
So you race toward this open space, flying along the column of fire as the Battle of the Doomstar looms much larger in your viewport, and you see a small cluster of TIE fighters suddenly emerge from the far side of the Starforge and begin screaming toward you, opening loose a hail of green lasers as they do so. Everyone to your battle stations. You're going to need to make a check based on your role on the ship. So, Stitch, I'm going to need you to do agility with a bonus for piloting. Luna, I will need you to do agility or reason for co-pilot. And for the gunners, I'm going to need agility with a bonus for ranged combat guns.
I got a green.
I got a white. We're all gonna die.
That's the spirit. Stitch rolled a yellow.
I rolled very badly, but I am very good at guns, so that is a green.
Okay, this is some really high-tension action. Stitch is doing his best to weave out of the way of the blaster fire. Luna is kind of panicking a little bit, and you guys end up actually, very nearly scraping into this long tendril of fire you're flying next to. Both Archer and Mordin are doing their best with the cannons. You guys are in, the little gun pods, think like the Millennium Falcon in New Hope. As you're trying to, target these TIE fighters, you do eventually manage to pick them off one by one, but they do manage to get several very solid hits on your ship. By the time you've gotten through them, your shields are down, there are warning lights flashing in the cockpit, and you're reasonably certain that there are at least two things on fire that should not be on fire as you streak toward the nearest open hangar bay of the Starforge. You crest over the bottom edge of the opening just in time to see that there are still a pair of TIE fighters in this particular bay. So Stitch, go ahead and make another agility check with a bonus for piloting, please.
Green.
You plow into both of the TIE fighters in here, one of which explodes, sending everyone in your ship who's not buckled in sprawling to the ground with a teeth-rattling impact. The lights in your ship flicker and then go dark.
I picture Mordin was unbuckled and got out of his chair to cryoblast a small fire behind him and thus was flung across the room.
Yep, sounds about right.
Can we steal the keys from the other TIE fighter that's not blown up?
I mean, in theory, you could.
What we should do is put out any fire so that at this point, I'm sure our entrance has been very stealthy. So I think our main concern is that we do not want the fire alarm to go off.
Lace picks up whatever the Star Wars equivalent of a fire extinguisher is.
It's a droid, isn't it?
Oh, you're right. She just picks up a droid and carries it over.
You all emerge from your ship into the hangar bay and begin moving toward the blast doors that lead out of the hangar and into the forge. These doors unexpectedly slide open, revealing two figures just on the other side. Both are dressed in knee-length black hooded robes. Those of you that have encountered Sith or other dark side Force users in this universe recognize this wardrobe choice. These, however, have the lean, skeletal/insectal look of a Phyrexian beneath the robes, and elongated, grinning skull-like faces protrude from beneath their hoods. Both of these figures extend two arms from beneath their robes, and then two additional arms, revealing that each Phyrexian has 4 arms, and each hand holds a lightsaber.
Oh, God.
8 lightsabers total ignite with red light as insectal wings stretch from their backs and they fly toward you, swinging their glowing, humming weapons as they do so. Let's roll initiative.
Stitch got 12.
11.
10.
6.
Stitch is up first.
This ring that Stitch has, does it only control water or does it generate it?
Yeah, the water ring only controls water.
Is there like water within the pipes of
Yeah,
like?
also, yeah. There's like water pipes in the Starforge.
Stitch says, "Cool down, water," and just blasely kind of waves his hand, and water comes shooting out of the pipes to the left of one of those Phyrexians and blasts him into the opposite wall.
Yeah, you catch him totally off guard, and he goes sprawling, and now he looks like a big wet idiot. Mordin, what would you like to do?
I'm gonna area incinerate these fools. Hey, guess what, guys?
All right, guys, everything is gonna be a-okay. You try to avoid hitting the water blast, and instead it just like goes flying off in a completely different direction. Archer, what would you like to do?
So I'm going to say ricochet and load up my gun with a ricochet round. And that was not a very good roll. Damn. I almost hit, but I did not.
All right.
It was a white.
Yep, the bullet goes ricocheting off down the hallway. Probably kills a stormtrooper on the way, but not these guys. Luna, it is your turn.
I'm gonna use my telekinesis, my force, whatever. I want to pick up some shrapnel and pin the other guy, the guy who's not down yet.
So you're drawing on that Jedi training you got from the holocron you found on Tython. Go ahead and roll your psyche.
The yellow.
So the Phyrexian Sith who was not hit by the blast of water is suddenly pinned under an avalanche of debris, and will take some time for him to get back up from under that. All right, it is the Sith's turn now. The one who got hit by the water stands up, shakes off his wings, and instead just sort of does this like dive roll, coming up directly in front of Stitch and swinging his lightsabers. Stitch, you get hit hard by these things. So you get hit twice. Each lightsaber hit does 34 damage and ignores your body armor. Woo! So you get hit for a total of 68. The second Phyrexian Sith, who's pinned under the rubble, struggles to lift it, begins to use the Force to do so, but Luna, you force arm wrestling him at this point and manage to push it back down on top of him. He remains pinned. Meanwhile, at the other end of the hallway, some turbolift doors open, and Nico and Dante emerge. They start looking around, trying to find out where to go next, when suddenly a bolt of incineration goes flying past them and off down the hallway. And all of a sudden, something clicks inside both of them.
Is that just because you were happy to see me? Let's get this party started.
Jesus, he's still trying to do that? All right, yeah. Come on, this way.
All of you in the hangar bay suddenly see Nico and Dante running up behind the Sith.
Oh, for a moment, Luna is so excited she lets up, and then she remembers that she has, and then she like shoves it back down extra hard and like hurts him a little bit more than she means to. It's like, oh, sorry, and then like, oh no, wait, no, not sorry.
I think Mordin's gonna lose all sense of like tactical awareness and just turn towards them and like slowly walk towards them and forget that he is in a fight.
Yeah. Nico and Dante, please roll initiative.
9.
7.
Stitch, we are back up to you.
Nico? Dante? Are you Force ghosts now?
They're not blue.
So they're regular ghosts?
No, we're not ghosts, Stitch. It's okay. We're fine.
Look, and I like start poking myself like that's gonna be a good indicator that I'm not a
Yeah,
ghost.
look, he's completely the same. Don't worry about it.
Okay, celebrate later. Lace is gonna jump onto the one that attacks Stitch and attempt to like tear one of its arms off. Raptors be raptorin. Yellow.
Lace severs the Phyrexian's arm, and it drops to the ground and the lightsaber turns off.
Stitch is gonna do a rolling grab of the lightsaber and then attack that same one.
Oh, man.
Oh man, it's so cool though, Karma.
All right.
Yeah, I'm gonna take it to a green.
Stitch, you cut the Sith in half.
Mordin says to you, you really didn't understand what the concept of death was until today.
Mordin, what would you like to do?
So there's just the one under the rubble?
Correct.
Can Mordin just walk up and pull out his hand cannon and just like tap in the head?
So you can make the check to do so. Basically, I'm going to have you roll as normal, but if you get a green, you just headshot him.
Okay, I got a green.
Yep, Mordin finishes off the second pinned Sith. And for the first time in a long time, the gang is all here.
Stitch is gonna, like, charging tackle hug Nico into Dante. So you get a double hug on.
Oh man, Luna's gonna leap in on that too.
Yeah! Stitch has got all 4 arms out. Maximum huggage.
This is actually the first time the gang is all here, because I have to play 2 characters at the same time now, and it's weird.
Yeah.
So as everyone's hugging, Mordin's going to walk up and awkwardly stand near you, but not get in on the hug.
Nope, Luna is pulling you into the hug.
With the force or like an arm?
Both.
Archer enthusiastically joins the hug as well, going like, yeah, I haven't seen you guys since Nexus City. Woo!
Lace finally is the cherry on top and just piles onto everybody.
This is the best.
Yeah, it's been a little bit of a rocky way here. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, I mean, Luna doesn't know that you're making a pun, but I do.
Nico's like trying to shove everyone off her, be like, all right, no, there's no time. Come on, get off.
But we thought you were gone forever and we'd never see you again, and you were just gonna live on in our hearts and minds.
I know, and I missed you guys too, and I'm very happy to see you, but right now we really have to destroy this space station.
Do you have secret knowledge about how we should do this? Because, I mean, you came from somewhere. Where did you come from? Are you a ghost?
No, okay, it's an extremely long story. I mean, you all know you got the message I sent you, right?
We
That was
did.
you.
That was, I thought it was obvious, but yeah.
Well, I didn't want to get my hopes up.
What message?
I didn't send it to you, Dante, because you were a statue, remember? Until I just made you not a statue anymore.
Well, now I'm the leader, so everyone follow me. Does anyone have any pizza? Stitch, you got some pizza on you?
Stitch rummages around in a little backpack that he has Lace hold on to for him. And he's like, well, yes, it was my battle pizza. So I could channel your energy here. By the way, Dante, this pizza is the pizza that looks like you. Like, really good.
So I look at it and I go, well, then I eat it anyways.
Yeah, that's him. He's not a ghost.
Dante, we have to talk about your mission another time, though.
Like sensitive feelings talking?
Oh yeah, everybody died, man. It's everyone.
They didn't die. I led the most successful mission ever. And I'm gonna do it again, so follow me.
All right, I
why
just
is
thought
no one getting
last
this?
time.
What?
I thought they were all slaughtered. I was told that they were.
Why are
all,
you so negative?
They were, look, I'm not trying to be, Dante. I'm sorry, but Nico's like, no, they're not dead. Actually, they're here. Like, there's a lot of League members here, and we should also go probably set them free before we blow up the station.
Let's go get them!
Oh, no! Stitch goes running off.
This was my idea.
So you guys, with Nico leading you through, because Nico, you've been spending a lot of time on the Starforge, you guys begin to head through the station hallways and towards the detention block.
As we're going, Mordin's going to talk to Nico. You should know we had a memorial service for you.
Oh,
Very touching. I gave a speech. There were tears.
I mean, was there black? Tell me there was black. You guys didn't use any other colors, did you?
You would appreciate the decor quite a bit, I assure you.
I just, okay, so the thing is that I've had my own funeral planned for like a long time now, and I have it on a flash drive, but you know what, it's fine. I can still use it, obviously, right? Like, I'm not actually dead, so it's great. I'm sure the one you guys threw was very nice. That's sweet of you.
I kind of can't believe Dante didn't tell you all about it, because he did a lot of the planning and he was very interested in it.
He hasn't said much. I don't know if the,
I
don't know if the carbonite, or I guess it's not carbonite, whatever it was, like scrambled his brains, or...
No, I think he's always been like that.
All right, cool.
I think your time away has given you perhaps a rosier view of the situation.
Nico, I think I did forget you were, like, I thought you were dead. I totally forgot that. And
It's all right.
And I also think
fine.
I ate my own memorial service, but... Things are weird.
You don't say. You don't say.
Well, welcome back.
Thanks. You too.
So you're all moving through the metal hallways of the Starforge in the direction of the detention block. This place is large and shows signs of very recent activity, but you're not encountering as much resistance as you might expect from a station of this size. It looks like the rebels' ploy to draw the Empire's attention away from the Forge has paid off within the Forge itself. You have the occasional skirmish with stormtroopers or Phyrexians, but you're able to take care of them and move on with admirable efficiency and effectiveness. The detention block for the Starforge is is a series of narrow hallways lit by red light all radiating out from one single security station. There's a pair of black-garbed Imperials monitoring the cells from the station, blaster pistols hanging from their belts. So, how would you guys like to approach this situation?
Can I use my heart ring?
You may. What would you like to do?
I just wanted them to realize that maybe they're on the wrong side.
Oh man. All right, so Luna, you step out of the turbo lift behind them. They spin around. You point your new ring at them and say,
Heart.
What is she doing? What is happening? I know it's been a while since we saw each other, but she just stepped out into full view of them and said heart. What is...
I got a green.
The two Imperial officers had been reaching for their pistols, but then their arms just sort of slowly lower down and they say, what are we even doing? All this hate and death and destruction, and we're letting interdimensional aliens in to invade our world, and they're putting together a whole bunch of Death Stars out there, and the other one just puts his hand on the other one's shoulder and says, Ralph, listen. Our feelings have gone unspoken for too long. I think maybe we should just leave and, just catch up. Maybe have some us time and figure out where in this wild and crazy galaxy we all fit in.
I will say there's a TIE fighter sitting in the hangar now that is being completely not watched. It's like, if anyone wants to grab that, it's
One of the Imperial officers looks at you and says, thank you, helpful stranger. I always thought aliens were, inferior to humans because that's kind of our whole philosophy, but at the very least, okay, You can be inferior and still be okay. Is that racist? I should reevaluate my life here.
Nico steps out, is like, Ralph, you've always been racist. Now get the fuck out of here. Oh, you're cool.
Ralph and Paul.
And with that, Ralph and Paul, the Imperial officers, leave. They step out of the Starforge and into the hearts of millions. All right, so what do you guys do?
I'm gonna press the
Start
button.
freeing prisoners.
It actually looks like there are only 4 prisoners here. Squirrel Girl, Amethyst, Godzilla, and Brock Sampson.
My team!
Shit.
The most successful team!
The doors swing open down one of the cell block hallways, and the 4 Leaguers emerge. They look exhausted and bedraggled, but as soon as they see the 6 of you standing there, you can see the fire just light up in their eyes, and in the case of Godzilla, in his mouth. And they all run towards you, just excitement visibly bubbling on them.
I mean, let's not go crazy about Brock, but yeah.
Yeah, I feel like Godzilla and Brock just kind of cash walk over.
Brock is like, oh, thank God, do any of you have a cigarette?
Squirrel Girl's like a sea of high fives. Like, you've never even seen so many high fives.
Yeah, Godzilla is pissed right now because Lex Luthor has been experimenting on him and was able to synthesize a counter-action for the cure that Mordin developed.
Should we go destroy that? I mean, I don't know. Is it here? Should we just burn stuff? Wait, we're gonna destroy this place anyway, aren't we?
We're blowing the whole thing up, Luna.
All right. Well, now we have reasons to blow it up extra.
Archer, doesn't really know why, but just eyes Brock hostilely for some reason. He just sizes him up. He just instantly knows there's something about this guy he doesn't like.
It also feels like he could kick his butt very easily, apparently.
Yeah, that's right. He feels very confident. He's not going to say anything because he feels very confident that he can just beat the shit out of Brock Sampson.
Oh, sure.
So meta.
Where to now, League?
All right, I think we should go to that extraction point so that way we can bring in everybody else, and then we attack.
So, Mordin, you produce the DDC, and you're able to find where the extraction point on the Starforge is. It looks like
Awesome.
Doc's calculations were correct. It's several decks above you, but, now that you guys have some reinforcements, hopefully the going should be relatively easy. Again, you all are sort of fight montaging your way through the relatively sparse defenses that the Starforge has. You emerge into yet another hallway and spot a turbolift at the far end of it. A large window makes up the wall to your left, looking out over the intense battle between rebels, Imperials, and Phyrexians, with the colossal Doomstar hanging out in space and the even larger portal to Phyrexia providing a backdrop for everything.
So you said the Doomstar looks like it's like a collection of Death Stars. I'm picturing the Sephiroth, that tree thing that's the spheres connected by the rods? Is like
Yes.
that the sort of thing?
That's actually fairly close. It's more spherical, so it's like a giant Death Star made of smaller Death Stars. Or rather, a giant Death Star made of normal Death Stars.
Oh, I thought it'd be like maybe Doom's face made of Death Stars.
Yeah.
That's definitely its final form. But for right now, it's a giant, like, interconnected series of orbs in an orb shape. You're so momentarily taken by the impossible scale of all of this that you almost miss the object flying toward you. One of the Empire's super star destroyers, a ship of titanic size, has apparently been badly damaged by enemy fire and is currently falling towards this system's star, except that the Starforge is directly in the way. And from the looks of things, it's going to impact the very part of the station that you guys are standing in now. What do you do?
Can I telekinetically move it? I mean, I'm not that powerful, but am I?
I have a thought.
Okay.
I was reading in the Planeswalker tome a little bit more about these rings, and it mentioned something about if we get them all together and we encounter a problem that's greater than what we can do individually, we can put our powers together and accomplish even greater things.
Could we unite them?
Dante, you look down, your ring of fire is gone.
No.
It must not have been turned to stone and then they took it off of you.
The Superstar Destroyer is coming in hot and fast.
Well...
Luna, do your thing.
Karma.
Use the Force, Luna.
Oh, wow. I got a 98 without, so I guess I got 108.
Fuck yeah.
You reach out with your feelings, you plant your feet on the ground, you stretch out with your hands, and you feel this unimaginable amount of force, lowercase f, coming at you. You push back with force, capital F, and impossibly, the Superstar Destroyer begins to slow and actually, like, get pushed off to the side. And what would have probably cut the Starforge in half ends up just, like, raking across the side, forcefully, like it hits real hard, but you guys were going to be impaled and probably spaced. And instead, what ends up happening is the Starforge lurches dramatically in a hellish scream of metal. Several banks of lights explode. The sounds of catastrophe ring in from floors above and below you. The station's artificial gravity momentarily gives out, and you all spend a few dizzying seconds ping-ponging off the walls before the gravity suddenly reasserts itself and painfully yanks you back down to the deck. Luna has managed to save the Starforge from being destroyed by a Star Destroyer, so...
Nice.
The Starforge remains intact, if damaged. It looks like it was knocked somewhat off kilter by the impact because you're now viewing that same battle outside from like a 25-degree angle difference. But yeah, like, you managed to not be obliterated by a falling Star Destroyer.
I didn't think that would work.
Yay, Luna! She jumps up and hugs her.
Luna probably passed out just a little bit.
Where'd you learn how to do that?
From a book.
A lot of that going around.
So, Mordin, you double-check the DDC, and you see that the extraction point is no longer showing up on it.
Is it out in space?
Yeah, it does look like the Starforge was probably knocked, like maybe a few hundred miles off of its original position, which is like tiny in terms of astronomical distances.
Yeah.
But yeah, the extraction point is like, out in deep space somewhere.
Does this thing have like an engine on it? Can we move this thing?
The Starforge?
Yeah.
You could try. You'd have to get up to the bridge.
Couldn't we find another a small ship?
But we have to get the whole league in here is the idea.
Oh, fuck. Maybe not a small ship, but what's the big, a few ships? No. It's one DDC trip,
A regular Star Destroyer.
Can you? No, I just thought for a second as a planeswalker if you can make extraction points, but that's not a power you have.
No, I could go somewhere else, but that's not really going to help us. Oh, by the way, Nico, I'm a planeswalker. But anyway, let's...
You're a what?
Don't worry about it.
Hold on.
We got stuff to do. Let's...
Yeah, no, that's fine. We'll catch up later.
Our Christmas letter's gonna be huge.
I guess we're gonna have to make do with this group.
We have to go destroy the Doomstar now.
So you all make a detour now, moving away from where the extraction point had been and heading instead for the failsafe room. You take the turbolift there, The doors open. The failsafe room is at the end of a very heavily guarded hallway. There are Phyrexianized stormtroopers all up and down this hallway, and also a series of weird-looking war droids. They're kind of like centauroid shaped in that they have like a relatively like humanoid shape to their upper bodies, but then their lower bodies are just like a ball shape that have these 3 insectal legs coming out. There's these 2 thin arms ending in forward-facing blasters, and an upper body that arches up and forward, ending in a head of sorts that consists of 2 photoreceptors. These are droidecas, aka, destroyer droids from the prequels. However, as these ones bring up their force fields, you can see that they are bubbles of green light crisscrossed with magical lines and symbols, because these are heavily enchanted droidecas. You guys have a hall full of Phyrexianized stormtroopers and enchanted droidecas. I'm gonna need all of you to tell me how each of your characters is contributing to this. This is kind of gonna be like montage style, so just like narrate your character doing something cool, and then I will have you roll for it.
So, as we all know, when droidecas are deployed, they can kind of waddle around, but they're very slow. So what I'm gonna do is find debris, any kind of debris, and block them off so they can't fire upon us, which doesn't require the use of a sword.
I'm just gonna say Archer is gonna yell rampage and start shooting stormtroopers. I think Brock isn't really in any shot very often. It's just occasionally you see him like flash across the screen and he's somehow lost his shirt and there's a knife in his teeth and he's covered in blood.
Yep, the huge.
Well, tell you what, Godzilla's gonna fucking charge into battle. Obviously, lighten everybody up, and Lace is gonna run up, jump, catapult off of his back, and plays a sweet-ass riff on Marlene.
I'm gonna say that Amethyst runs after them, and she has shapeshifted into a purple Godzilla and is biting people.
Nico is going to attempt to disenchant the droidecas.
No, nice.
Luna's gonna pull one of the droidecas towards Grogu, who's gonna like crumple it and then use it to bowl.
Nice.
So just gonna pull water out of the walls, screaming "water," and uses it to create a big wave. Jumps onto a piece of the wall that is now floating on the water. Surfs through the enemies and starts hitting them with the lightsaber as they go by.
While all of this is happening, I think Mordin's just gonna go invisible and just like sprint down the hallway past everybody so he can get to the switch while everybody else is fighting.
All right, cool. Here's the rolls I'm going to need you all to make. Dante, you're going to roll strength with a bonus if you have athletics. Archer, you're going to roll agility with a bonus for ranged combat guns. Stitch, you're just going to roll on the ring of water, so that's incredible. Luna, you're rolling psyche. Mordin, you are rolling agility with a bonus if you have stealth. And Nico, you are rolling psyche. And all of you, because you freed the League prisoners, all of you get to roll with an additional +2 column shift.
Holy
Oh, great.
shit.
Oh, nice.
Yay!
I got a yellow, Dan.
Archer got a yellow.
I got a green.
All right, I got a yellow.
Green.
Nico got a green.
All right, the montage goes on as you all narrated. There are stormtroopers and droids flying everywhere, shirtless men running back and forth, water and magic and force abilities and bowling, and by the end of it, all of you are standing at the far end of the hall, and not one of you has a scratch on you.
Nice.
That was some, if you'll forgive the expression, extraordinary abilities, y'all.
Aww.
You hear, however, what sound like an awful lot of footsteps coming from some of the other hallways, but they are all coming towards you. And I'm going to say that Godzilla lets out a roar, turns, stands his ground, and prepares to like just start fighting everything that comes within his field of vision. And the other Leaguers that you rescued do the same, blocking you guys as you head off to destroy the Doomstar.
Thanks, guys.
You all step through the doors into this room and into a very large space. The ceilings are high. The floor itself is layered with stairs and ramps connecting multiple levels of walkway. One entire wall is dominated by a window showing a dramatic view of the Battle of the Doomstar. And from the looks of things, the rebel forces are very much on the back foot. The encroaching tide of Imperial ships has been bolstered by Phyrexian fleets pouring out of the massive portal, and any rebel ships that get too close to the Doomstar are inevitably picked off by the turbo lasers dotting its surface. What this room looks like, in fact, is an observation deck. There is no machinery here. There's not a single panel, computer monitor, or anything that would indicate an interface of some kind. As you are all scanning around looking for this detonator, there's suddenly a flickering light in the center of the room. A holographic figure appears, 6.5 feet tall, wearing a gold-colored tunic and a hooded cloak over gray armor. Greetings, League. I hesitate to call you extraordinary. I am the father of machines. You may call me Doom.
But do we have to?
I mean, he gets real pissy if you don't.
More like doomed.
When Nico fell in Phyrexia, I saw a bit of an opportunity. This was our chance to learn what precisely your inane plan could possibly be to defeat me, what you were willing to throw your lives away in search of. I offered Nico the position as my apprentice. That she accepted this offer proves to me that, though we share a world of origin, she has no idea of who I am. What purpose would having a successor serve to the all-powerful? Doom is eternal, and has no equal.
I mean, I only accepted because I was trying to get information from the inside, so back at you?
Ah, yes. The information that you received from my praetor, Lex Luthor. The one possible flaw to exploit in the grand design that is the Doomstar. The truth is, there is no flaw. There is no self-destruct. This ensured that you would overextend yourselves, put yourselves in a place where you were vulnerable, but could also see the glory of the multiverse to come as the Doomstar exits this world and enters Phyrexia, where it belongs. Goodbye, fools. I leave you now in very capable hands. And with that, the hologram of Doom fades out, and there are 3 more flashes of light from different corners of the room. Appearing in a flash of blue is Lex Luthor. Appearing in a flash of purple is mumm-ra. And appearing in a flash of white is Darth Vader. All 3 begin to make their way toward you, assuming their armored Phyrexian forms as they do so, as through the window on the far side of the room, you see the Doomstar begin to move toward the giant Phyrexian portal.
Alright guys, this one might be on me, sorry.
Extraordinary League is produced by Dan Mulkerin, with logo design by Claire Mulkerin.
Special thanks to Kevin McLeod at Incompetech.com for our theme song, Motherload, and to TabletopAudio.com for our background music and ambient sound effects.
You can find us on Twitter at SmashFic Podcast and search for the Smash Fiction Podcast on Facebook, Tumblr, and YouTube.
Subscribe on Apple Podcasts or your podcatcher of choice, and if you leave us a good review, we shall become more powerful than you can possibly imagine.
Smash Fiction is made possible thanks to our supporters on Patreon at patreon.com/smashfictionpodcast. Please consider donating as little as $1 each month. It helps us keep the show going. And we have great rewards and extra content for those who help us out.
If you have any suggestions, feedback, or other contributions, send them to us at smashfictionpodcast@gmail.com and help us continue the fight. Dan, are you suggesting that there are, in fact, bathrooms in this universe?
I mean, I don't know that I want to violate canon that that deeply.
Oh yeah, it's true. You might get Twitter fanboys all over you.
Water is for other things, though. You don't necessarily only use it for bathroom functions.
They never mentioned it in the original trilogy.
That's right.
I'm sure they use some Jedi or Sith space magic to just disappear it off the floor.
Oh, can we not? They just poop directly onto their lightsabers. Anyway,
Miles
all
just
right.
imagined
That's
it.
so funny.
All right, Stitch, please do something. Make that shot.
Alright, and I'm not gonna spend karma.
I thought you were singing a very flat version of I Will Always Love You for a second there.
Okay. I was not.
Oh, I was gonna ask you, just because I got 108, which is not a thing you could get. But could I have had it, like, I don't know, take out a few extra enemies out there in the battle as well? Just graze somebody.
Sure. I'll say that Exar Kun and General Grievous and Grand Admiral Thrawn were coming to join the battle, but then they got knocked away by the Superstar Destroyer.
Yay!
Great. You did it, Luna. You saved us all. I mean, you actually did.